My name is Sarah Woodbury, and today we are talking about the medieval church in Wales.
We already did a video about early Christianity in Wales. What are we going to add to that discussion in this video? What's different?
When I was talking about early Christianity, it was in the context of the way it was still, to some degree, competing with paganism, particularly after the fall of Rome. While Rome had officially become Christian in 388, not only was Britain located at the end of the Roman Empire at the time, but Rome completely abandoned it by 410. That meant the Christianity that developed in Wales was organized around small cells of believers led by inspired leaders who came to be known as saints. That's why the period was called the Age of Saints, where men and women formed monasteries and convents, but with little to none of the hierarchy and oversight that came later. By 800 AD, Christianity in Wales was in conformity with Rome, for the most part, and for centuries had been the source of Christianity for all of Britain. Wales and Ireland both sent out missionaries to convert the Saxons, the Danes, and the northern tribes of Scotland. By the heart of the Middle Ages, all of Britain was entirely Christian, but was also coming under the thumb of Rome more fully, particularly once England was conquered by the Normans. We talked about the consequences of those conquests earlier in this season. Certainly the church was a weapon of conquest in this regard, over the Saxons first, then the Welsh, the Scots, and finally the Irish. During the period where most of Wales was still independent of England, particularly in Gwynedd, priests and monks did not subscribe to the edicts laid down by the Archbishop of Canterbury, even as they potentially obeyed the Pope in Rome. We talked about the overt independence of the Cistercians, as they refused to put out their candles on multiple occasions when the Prince of Wales was excommunicated by the Archbishop or even the Pope. They clearly saw that the King of England was using the church as a means to control what happened in Wales, and viewed those actions, rightfully, as a breach of sovereignty. The Welsh Church, in addition to refusing to excommunicate Welsh princes, also refused to abide by certain conventions that had become associated with Christianity, even though they were not biblical per se. These included the Welsh laws about crime and punishment, which encouraged mediation and a system of fines rather than capital punishment, even for murder. It also included the insistence that women had some rights within marriage, such that they could own property or divorce their husbands. And finally, possibly most contentiously, the Welsh Church supported the right for illegitimate children to inherit as long as their father acknowledged them. To Normanize and politics, such traditions were against divine law. Nonetheless, the Welsh Church maintained its independence up until the death of Llywelyn ap Griffith on December 11, 1282. Next week, we'll be talking about one such native Welsh church, St. Mary's in Treviw, founded by Llywelyn Fawr, Prince Llywelyn's grandfather. Thanks for watching my video. You can click on the playlist or subscribe to my channel to see more. There'll be a new video next week. If you want to check out my books, click on the link to my webpage.